got everything accomplished.
Cock sleeve would refer to a foreskin and not literally anything else.
Let's get started.
Cock sleeve?
Yeah.
You don't know what a cock sleeve is?
No.
Strange.
That's interesting.
Basically, it's just anything that's just meant to be fucked. Any
I
other
see,
use it used to have is just gone now. And
Oh,
now
I
it's
see,
just
like a McChicken.
meant to be fucked. Basically.
Cool.
Or like that talking fish that sings and dances.
Or that person around the corner who you really just hate. Haha, no.
Yeah. Since it's already attached in the way it looks, you think...
Just cut that out of the podcast.
No. I'm thinking about it. Because, like your shirt sleeve isn't like someone else's, like, shirt or something, you know?
You're not trying hard enough.
It's yours.
But it can be removed.
It's your sleeve.
But it can be
but
removed.
so can a foreskin. You can just peel it back.
I mean...
Speak for yourself. I'm circumcised.
That's true. There are some weird, gross ones out there.
Yeah,
Big foreskins. Getting kicked out of Xavier school because you're a little too weird for them.
Mine's so long I can tie it in a knot.
You like there's a group called I think they're called the Purifiers, where they just are huge mutant racists.
Yeah.
And I would just give him to them. Giant foreskin kid. Here, why don't you get on this bus? Yeah, just you. Don't worry.
Like, just imagine that, but like your elbows. You just have like super droopy elbows.
Ugh. There are a couple characters, but there's a character named Skin who just has like 6 extra feet worth of like skin. So that's basically what his deal is, where he just has skin hanging off his body, and it's super gross. And I don't remember I don't remember how he uses his powers. I just know he's gross.
That's just gross. Like
Rubber Band Man is cool because he Mr. Fantastic's around all over the place and shit. So
I gotcha.
He actually uses his intelligently.
The other thing that you saying that's the Skin Kid just makes me think of the scene from the like old X-Men movies where they force one dude to become a mutant and he like is melting through the bars.
Senator, is he President Kennedy?
What? Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. It changes from the comic books to the movies to the TV show, so.
But yeah, he's like pushing his face through the bars and it's like slowly just like distorting his face. That scene creeps me out every time I see it.
It was creepier to me when you think he's gonna survive and he makes it to the mansion and he just dies anyway.
Yeah.
He just turns to water and dies. That's fucking horrifying.
Mm-hmm. You know, like seeing something just like turn to mist is always terrifying.
Yeah. Like car crashes and people being thrown into airplane turbines.
Yeah.
Skullgirls.
Suction. Yeah, that's
turn the mist.
Reading a bunch of those things, kind of terrifying.
Oh man. Ultra cursed. Fighting games are cursed enough. Skullgirls is the most cursed.
Man, fighting games had it rough the last couple months.
It's like every time fighting games are about to make some sort of resurgence, or like some hype shit's gonna happen, something else happens and ruins everything.
It's like, nope, gotta balance this shit out.
Yeah. Oh, were you about to have some fun at Evo? I think not.
Did you hear about all the net codes? It's so much better. And then this happens.
Yeah, trying to figure out what fucking old gypsy fucking Japanese people pissed off. Fighting games are cursed forever. Ridiculous.
Forever and ever.
And ever and ever. Oh well. Still got that character coming out though. I guess Skullgirls doesn't really belong to them anymore. So
yeah, I was gonna say Skullgirl's not actually part. Like Lab Zero helped them, but it's not owned by Lab Zero. So
even though everything about Skullgirls is basically the people who left Lab Zero.
Like the craziest thing for me was that I followed a bunch of the people who I didn't even realize worked at Lab Zero.
Yeah, I did too. When I saw a bunch of people who were like, I saw one person who was like, they quit their jobs like a week ago, and then this shit came out, and they're like, see why I don't talk about where I work, because it was at Lab Zero.
I was like, oh wow, there's a lot of artists that I followed that worked at Lab Zero.
It's crazy. Oh well. It is what it is. Maybe it's just time to move on. Skullgirls has been around for like 1,000 years at this point. Maybe it's just time for something else.
You know, like there's other fighting games coming out, like Devil May Strive.
Exactly.
Devil May Strive versus Strive.
What is it fucking called? That Chinese mobile game that I showed you guys before that nobody cared about? That is now big news.
Oh, what was it?
Metal Revolution.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember it.
With the DMC3 cutscene remaster or whatever the fuck.
Oh, that thing.
Turned to a full cutscene. But yeah, okay. So some person was like, "I'm gonna make a mod to make a multiplayer in Devil May Cry 5, like a fighting game."
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
I've watched a bunch of it, and I'm just like, man,
I haven't watched any of it yet.
It's pretty hype.
I just know that that's a good idea.
It's a very good idea, and I think Capcom needs to think about just making Capcom Versus already.
There are some rumors that that's coming out, but I think that's just wishful thinking.
I think that's just wishful thinking.
Because Capcom doesn't really seem to give much of a rat's fucking ass about their fighting games right now.
Although they got a new person in charge of the division, so we'll see. That would be nice.
This is cool. I mean, it would be sick if this came with like if this did happen in some official capacity, it came with like the Virgil DLC or like the Devil May Cry Special Edition, you know.
Yeah, I want to know what happens to this guy. I need to follow him because this modder, I want to see if like
he like
gets
this
hired,
is how you get like a job at Capcom,
or not not Capcom, but like
anywhere else.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just want to keep an eye on him so like when he goes inevitably to some big company, I can keep an eye on that game that comes out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if this is good, you know.
Yeah, true.
If it works, which it looks like it does, you know. So
yeah, because I could see other people who make like single player games hiring him just to make multiplayer versions for it.
That'd be cool.
Or I don't know anything about coding, so like I could be talking out the ass and not understand the thing I'm saying, but
well, I mean,
I would assume
this is applicable stuff to official things he could be doing. So
yeah. I would assume the knowledge that he's using to mod this game would apply to other solo single-player games.
Yeah. This is pretty cool. Hope maybe they can get him to do the Samurai Jack game so we can get the co-op there.
So how is that game? Speaking of, I saw that you've been playing it a shit ton.
It's kind of like if they made Sekiro like right after Demon Souls.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult, but it feels like kind of like clunky sometimes. I wouldn't even say fair. It's like it knows the things that need to be there. Like it's got a parry, but the parry's not very good. You know, It's got like weird push blocking, but that's not very good. Like it knows the stuff it needs to have. It even has like fucking Dante weapon switching. Like you can like knock people into the air and then switch weapons, and then keep hitting them and all kinds of crazy shit. And it emphasizes like
Gotcha.
switching weapons in the middle of combat, which is
Okay.
that's actually pretty good. It's like it knows the stuff that needs to be there, but it doesn't really know how to do them very well.
Gotcha.
So a lot of the time you're like, okay, why is the parry just not happening at all? Or there's an upgrade for like a quick block that just kind of just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's not bad, and I can feel like the difficulty is meant to it's meant to be hard. Like it's not hard because it's bullshit. It's hard because it's genuinely hard. But there's some fights where you're like, all right, I only got through that because I bullshitted something, you know. And which gets frustrating sometimes because you're like, am I just doing stuff wrong? Am I not parrying enough? Am I not blocking enough or whatever? But you know, but it's otherwise it's still fun. I mean, I'm a Jack Mark, so I love it. Everything about it is fun and cool. It even takes place like literally like they're falling like at the very end of the series. They go through a portal and they're falling through this portal, and then Jack falls into another portal into the video game, basically.
Okay.
So it's basically it's like a continuation kind of almost. Some like it mostly follows like the plot. You know, it shows you like some of the fun stuff. Like Demongo comes back, and you know you get chased by the lion guys, and it's all a just kind of a trip down memory lane. If you like the show, then you know, you'll really enjoy that kind of thing. But eventually, Aku does some savage shit, some wildly outlandish, crazy shit, and fucks up the timeline a little bit. Nothing really changes too much because of it, but it does kind of change the context of a lot of things, and it even acknowledges like one of the weird things I felt about season 5 of Samurai Jack is like they show a moment where he kills like a person and she turns out to be a human, and he's like, oh shit, and he's kind of fucked up about it, but then like half an episode later he just kills the rest of them like it's no problem. And there's no real acknowledgement of it, but he leaves one alive and then falls in love with her and gets to fuck that one, but the rest he just kind of kills. So it felt super weird. So the game kind of acknowledges that, where Ashi, the one he ends up with, is like, you killed all my sisters, you know, and he's kind of being like, he's like, I didn't really have a choice, you know. It's super weird, but it's at least acknowledging it. But it's like you didn't have a choice, but I mean, Ashi got to live. So what does that say about how hard you really tried? And also this isn't even the first time Jack has killed like living creatures, like even humans. Like I know a lot of the things he fights in the show are robots, but there's one episode called Jack and the Bounty Hunters, where he like kills like I want to say like 4 or 5 humans, like people, not robots, not like animal monsters, like dudes, you know. I'm like guys who are like, I'm gonna go home to my family at the end of the night, you know. Jack just kind of kills those guys, and it's like it's just treated as part of the episode, you know.
That's interesting.
But I mean, it's a lot of the art is really good. Like a lot of the models, like the art style of the show translates very well to some of these models. Some do not. Sometimes some look very rough, but it definitely looks better than I initially thought it was going to. It also plays like in general. It's just kind of better than I thought it was going to be. Like for a licensed game about a TV show. That
I was about to ask, like, is this the best licensed game you've played?
For sure, yeah. I can't really think of anything else. Yeah, there's I can't really think of anything else that's licensed that's also this good. Like it feels like they tried their damnedest to make a hard game, you know, and like a genuinely good game. So and it's like it feels like super like budgety. Like it feels like I definitely feel that they didn't get a lot of money to do this. They didn't get a lot of time probably. There's some stuff in there that's like the whole time I'm like, man, I sure hope I get to fight this character, and then they just kind of never show up. And then you kind of feel like, oh, you really didn't get this character, you really didn't get this in here.
Have you beat the game already?
Not yet. I'm like at the final boss.
God.
Which is like the final boss is like final boss of Sekiro hard.
Okay.
Because it comes right after like a gauntlet of shit, you know.
So boss fights feel good though. Like majority of the game, not the greatest,
not really.
but no. Okay.
Because the boss fights are mostly damage, like they're damage sponges usually. Like unless it's like a character, like a character from the show, like when you fight the Huntsman or Ashi, those fights are pretty fun. But if it's just like here's a big version of one of the regular enemies, not really fun, you know.
Okay.
And then during the gauntlet before the final boss, you have to fight like a bunch of those enemies, the giant kind of boss type enemies, but now they're regular enemies, so that gets kind of annoying. But when the game is playing well and you're killing a room full of dudes, it feels like Samurai Jack, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
you're like when you've got like your combo up and you're doing like as much damage as you possibly can, you're I gotta talk about that too, because this game does something I fucking hate. But you're like slicing dudes like apart in like one swing and shit. So something I hate games doing is when they lock like gameplay behind like unlockables and skills and power-ups and upgrades and shit. Because I shouldn't have to like buy grab like a tech throw, you know.
Okay. You don't like that?
I hate that. I think if it's like, if it fundamentally changes the gameplay, it should just be there from the beginning, and then you should let me upgrade like its effectiveness or something. Because that tech throw changes the whole fucking game.
Yeah. I would
Enemies are
assume so.
basically unstoppable until you get that tech throw. Like, and that tech throw is deep in the upgrade tree.
Gotcha.
There's also like combos that you gotta get, and that kind of makes the gameplay feel really limited at first, because you're like, okay, I can only swing my sword like 3 times before my combo is over, you know. And there's like 7 input long combos in here, and you gotta get deep into the game to get those. So that kind of holds the game back, where it kind of feels like it's a little harder than it needs to be, just because the upgrade system is annoying, you know. And you're not getting a lot of the stuff you need to upgrade. Like a lot of that stuff is like, at first it's just, you know, experience points, but then it becomes, you need this amount of experience points plus this kind of item or this kind of other thing, you know. And you're not getting that a lot, so you're not getting a lot of these upgrades, so you gotta really pick and choose, you know, how shitty you want the game to essentially be at the end of the game, you know.
That kind of sucks, but yeah.
It's one of those things where it could easily be like, a lot of the complaints I have could just be easily fixed by, you know, just supporting the game, you know. It's because it's not a bad game. Like, this is a game really where like a couple, you know, updates and you've got a pretty solid game, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's Samurai Jack, so 10 out of 10. Fucking buy it.
All right, so unbiased opinion, probably like an 8, maybe a 7.
Probably like a 6.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That low? Okay.
Yeah, because some of the bosses are just kind of bullshit.
Okay.
You know, they're like, literally the final boss is well, what I'm assuming is the final boss, because it's fucking Aku. He literally yells, "Get ready to enter a whole new world of pain," and it's some of the most bullshitty bullshit I've ever seen in my entire life. Because
video
here's
game
the thing.
bullshit happens.
Here's what makes the parry completely fucking useless. None of the enemies have like a tell or anything. They just kind of instantly attack.
Gotcha.
And the instant they start moving, you're hit. If you're not, or like if you didn't stare at the guy for 5 minutes and go, he's probably about to attack me, and then block, you know, you definitely got hit by the shit, which is it's insanely frustrating sometimes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It makes me just like what am I even supposed to do here? Like I you have this parry that's clearly supposed to be super important, but your enemies don't really have the balancing to make it worth the shit.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Interesting. Yeah. So what else you do this week?
No, I really didn't do much else. I mostly played Jack. I finished Korra, season 3, 4. I love, like the end of 3 and then the rest, 4. Definitely, like, I think 3 and 4 are like the best of Korra, and some of the most interesting stuff that they kind of ever did with Avatar. Because it's like a fantasy story, but set in like almost modern times, so you're getting that kind of combination of magic and science.
Gotcha.
A fucking Metal Gear shows up in season 4.
Metal Gear.
I mean, because it's all about like war and like fascist dictatorships taking over, countries that are in turmoil. Super cool though. Korra, this whole season is basically just about shitting on Korra and the idea of the Avatar, I think, though, because she's kind of just completely fucking useless for most of it. She gets beat up pretty much left and right. It's all about the Beifong family in season 4. They kind of just whoop ass. Toph shows back up. She's all old and cranky.
Toph is a badass.
She's great. Essentially, the reason she can kind of just fuck off is because now she's so, awesome at earthbending that she can kind of just see the whole world at all times whenever she wants to, so she can just watch her kids from wherever.
Yep.
That's creepy as shit.
Well, it's not from wherever. She uses the tree, but
yeah.
But
still, it's like
that's creepy as shit.
Well, because she knew shit, like she knew that she knew like when kids were born and shit, and she knew, she you could tell she could probably know shit that you wouldn't want her to know.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah. For sure. She definitely knew a lot of things that she.
But the thing about like the old people in these like kung fu shows is that they basically are considered gods when they can do crazy shit like that. So they're like they get a pass to be able to see your wiener and shit. So.
Oh god.
She gets to know if you have too much foreskin or not.
I can't go from Toph being like 12 to Toph being like 90 something.
Bro, she has like multiple kids and 2 baby daddies.
Let's not.
Yeah, that sounds about right. She's got 2 baby daddies.
Toph has let's see. I'm gonna say probably. Well, I mean, Tenzin has like 4 kids, so definitely Tenzin and Pema got it on. But let's see. Toph had a child with somebody else, and then a child with her second husband or some dude. Because she literally goes. The way she describes him when she talks to Lynn about it is he was basically just some guy. He was kind of cool. Things didn't really work out, and you were born.
Yep.
But she's of course I guess the most casual about her relationship. She ends up being like one of the more selfish characters that kind of just does whatever the fuck she wants. Because she literally is like, I'm the chief of police, so I can literally just rip up my daughter's arrest record and have her go live, somewhere the fuck else.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And of course she has the most fucked up family because she didn't really have an awesome family to begin with. If you read the comic books, you find out that her mom left her father or whatever. Like after she left and everything. And then I guess she came back and then, they got divorced. Super weird, super crazy.
I need to go read the comics for sure.
There's actually some really important stuff, like a lot of the
Zuko
like Earth
stuff.
Kingdom stuff. Wait, what? Some stuff happened? Some shit happened?
No, Zuko's family stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Zuko's family stuff. That's not even the most interesting stuff to me though. The most interesting stuff to me is like the stuff that actually plays into Korra, where they talk about but Korra does, like the very beginning of Korra, they mention they're like telling a story, and it's like the end of the story, and one character goes, "But what happened to Zuko's mom?" And then someone else goes, "Oh, that's an interesting story." Then they get interrupted.
That's why
But-
that shit was so interesting to me, was because they alluded to it the entire fucking time in Avatar.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it was never answered until like 4 years later when I could give a shit less.
In a comic.
Yeah.
Can I mean, I guess you guys don't want me to spoil what happens, so I won't.
I've already read
I
all the
don't mind,
synopses.
but
Oh, you already know.
Yeah.
Okay.
you can tell me.
It's fucked though.
All right, so I guess spoilers for the search. Basically, Zuko's mom poisoned the Fire Lord, so Ozai could become Fire Lord. So she dips, and she goes and gets her face changed by Ko, the Face Stealer, and she ends up marrying somebody else and living with them forever. And then Ozai tells Zuko, and then Zuko and Azula go to find him or find her. And
Wait,
there's this whole
Azula?
thing about Azula comes back. She's like still kind of crazy, but she becomes like kind of part of the team. She's like the
Okay.
She's like the the one character that you're like, are they gonna stay good or are they gonna go evil?
Gotcha. Okay.
So they go and find her, and then stuff happens, and the whole thing becomes about like, do I want to leave my current life to go back with my children or whatever? And I think I want to say she does. She gets her face changed back.
I thought she stayed with the dude.
I think she does at first, but then I think she decides to go back for whatever reason. I can't remember.
That's
poor guy.
But that's like the end of that story, kind of, because then the story, the all that kind of transitions into Azula and Zuko like fixing their relationship. But the most interesting stuff to me was like how Zuko basically went nuts and went to war for some land from the Earth Kingdom, because there were a bunch of like Fire Nation like colonies in the Earth Kingdom that were technically Fire Nation land, and basically the whole deal was Fire Nation cultures had built up there, but now the Earth Kingdom wanted that land back, and Zuko was like, no, that's our land. I know we took it from you in the huge war, but it's ours now. And basically he starts going nuts, and he starts like getting super paranoid that somebody's gonna assassinate him. And he goes to war with the Earth Kingdom for a little bit, and he beats up like 20 dudes, and then he passes out from exhaustion because he hadn't slept or eaten in like weeks.
gotcha.
And that eventually, like, Aang has to, even tells Aang, like, yo, if I go crazy, you gotta kill me, Aang. Which Aang, of course, doesn't do.
Obviously.
They can't afford to waste their marketing tool for young women.
Right.
Aang can only kill one person.
Plus, actually, I'm not even sure Aang
I
killed
don't think
anybody.
Aang killed anybody.
He never killed anybody once.
No, okay then, yeah, he's good.
They need Zuko to stick around so he can become Iroh and Korra. Let's see what else happens in the comics. But yeah, basically, all that, Aang shows up and stops the war, and then basically gets the Earth King to surrender and give them the land, and that's how Republic City is built. And then basically the Earth Queen is pissed off about that forever, so that's why she's so mad at Korra and shit in season 3. And then season 4, Kuvira's whole thing is like, yeah, that is our fucking land actually, so I'm gonna fucking take it back. Kuvira is another one of those characters that I would love to just be in a room with and get tortured to death by, because those Earth Kingdom chicks are pretty high tier, I think.
All right, good to know.
Yeah, Deshaun's
Korra.
ball bondage aside.
Yeah, Deshaun's liking
Hey
his
man, don't do anything to my
CBD.
balls. Just, crush my organs.
I hate to break it to you, but
Balls is an organ.
What's a that's true. I was literally thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, my testicles are literally just organs that hang out of my body. What's a thing, like, Avatar loves taking like its stupid loser characters and then making them awesome. Like, Sokka gets a cool black sword, like Bolin gets lava bending for no reason. Like, is there anything else that does stuff like that often?
One Piece.
Dragon
That's
Ball.
true. I mean, does Dragon Ball really do that anymore?
Nah, Dragon Ball's not
The
so,
original
not
Dragon
so-
Ball, yes.
Okay.
Original Dragon Ball, yes.
Yeah, Dragon Ball, not
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
You're correct.
Yeah,
Because
dude.
I'm thinking like the manga, and the manga is just all called Dragon Ball.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Dragon Ball chapters or volumes 1 through 16.
Trying to think. What Western stuff does it though?
Avatar.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Dragon Prince does, but that's by like one of the same guys, so I don't even know if that really counts.
Yeah, it's by the same, not the exact same team, but
It's like one of the same writers, I think.
yeah.
Oh fuck! There's an RPG. Shit, I don't remember it though.
You know what? Old Cartoon Network shows do that. Like what's it called? Codename Kids Next Door.
That's true. There would be some loser, lame ass character, but they would also have like the cool guys, like Agent 247 or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's Agent Zero, and then Agent
Zero.
One, and then
Man, that Agent Zero movie is so fucking disappointing.
it's so disappointing.
There's like a somebody.
It was
recently-
it was Nigel's dad. It was just Nigel's dad, and you're just
yeah,
like
it's just his dad. Like what? Okay.
re-child.
That's when it kind of
Formula.
started to just really stop. Like I could kind of like believe what was happening in the world before, but then it started to be like okay, that's a little.
My
Agent
favorite
Zero's
thing
just a
about-
little much.
My favorite thing about the whole series was the moon base, man.
Yeah,
That-
the moon base, and then like the like galactic kids next door or whatever the fuck that they were hinting
Yeah.
at.
That shit was so like I was hyped up for that. Because I'm just like, man, how far can this show go?
Because they would mention it. They would be like, they would talk about Moonbase and be like, oh man, I can't wait to go to Moonbase or call Moonbase or whatever the fuck. And it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait to go.
And like whenever you had episodes on Moonbase, it was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
2x4 technology, man.
It was always like a big deal when they went to Moonbase because that was like
Yeah.
usually the arc thing.
Okay, I did find it, but it was Borderlands
Okay.
because there's characters in the. I guess they're like the main characters of the Telltale games, but if you never played them, like you don't know who the fuck they are when they show up in Borderlands.
They all
3.
do
Gotcha,
kind of
yeah.
become huge badasses by the end of the
Yo.
Telltale game.
the Telltale nerd dude who's like ripped his shit because he just put a gem in front of his desk.
Yeah.
that dude's
That shit.
Oh, it's
yeah.
the best.
It's hilarious.
He's like, he took his shirt off and he's like, what the fuck? Why are you ripped?
That's great. Yeah, that's funny.
Telltale, I'm so sad they're like out. They were so good.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, their shit was just not. I think that. Well, I mean, they're kind of back, sorta.
Sorta, kind of, sorta.
it helps that they made their engine like available for purchase for developers.
Did
I
they?
think, right?
I'm not sure.
I think so.
That would be cool if they did.
I think it was like their last ditch effort to like bankrupt the company, but like let their like developers continue to do shit.
Like the thing they were like, a lot of the developers were just pissed off because they would not be allowed to make a new engine.
Well,
Yeah, they were stuck with the same one they had, and that's why their games ran like shit.
oh, dude, true.
That and the fact that they had about 2 months to make entire games.
Yeah.
Which, at that point, I'm kind of impressed that shit just worked in general. Not that I'm saying that they should have done
screen
that,
half the time.
but like the fact that I didn't get more crashes when I've played the vast majority, or not the vast majority, but a fair amount of their games is like good. But also,
Yeah.
like, give these people a fucking break.
Just, yeah, it's a good, hard-working team of people. Give them a break. Yeah. Before we get too far away from it, so there was like a kind of Kids Next Door revival thing a few years ago.
Yeah.
Where basically number one goes to space or whatever and becomes a space thing, but then he comes back and he's like a bad guy, and he's talking about killing all the adults or some shit.
Okay.
And it never went. It never went anywhere, but it's one of like I wonder if it would be like a Korra situation, or
There
like
was-
a sequel series type of thing, or if it would be like
Yeah.
just like an original story that they're.
I think one of my favorite things was like the last. I think it was the last movie they came out with Codename Kid Next Door was the real life commercials they had, where it was interviews with like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, not 1, but 2, 3, 4, and 5 all having interviews about what happened to Nigel.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, because they were like because weren't they all like adults in the
They're all
interviews?
old adults.
Yeah.
They're like in their 50s.
And the fact that they didn't have like their memories erased is like a big deal, I think.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. That means they were undercover agents.
Fucking... I miss world building like that.
Yeah.
Codename Kids Next Door had some of the most killer fucking world building, I think, in any like Western show.
Because
it had like Avatar levels of world building before fucking Avatar.
Yeah, like it didn't have any what's it called, any episode to episode things. It was like Adventure Time. That's what I'm trying to say. I forget the phrase for it. It is not
Non-linear.
Continuity.
Nope. It starts with an S.
Shit.
Yeah, it was not
Palpatine.
shit. But it's not. Every episode doesn't have to be watched in order. That's what I'm trying to say. Sequential.
That's
Thank
what it
you.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a sequential show, but it had stuff that would develop the characters every episode.
And it had like overarching ideas that carried over to other episodes. So you're like, hey, that's that thing you talked about before. That's awesome.
Like 8 episodes ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sick. It really was able to like really split the difference between having like a long form narrative and doing like non-sequential episodes.
Yeah, every episode's its own story.
Yeah. Stuff like Samurai Jack perfectly did that too, where the whole deal was him walking around fighting monsters, and the overarching plot was just gotta get back. But
so did the Powerpuff Girls.
Yep. Although the Powerpuff Girls never really.
Went
their whole goal was just protect the city. They didn't really have like much of a
not nearly as much.
overarching
No
plot. There was no like protect the city, but also figure out where we came from
Who
or some
you
shit
are.
like that. Yeah, you know, like no corny horrible shit like that. You know what? Since we're talking about it, speaking of fucking Powerpuff Girls, live action
the live
TV
action
show,
thing is
baby,
coming out. Oh no! Oh no!
Now they're cynical adults and they hate the fact that they were awesome superheroes.
Yep.
Great. That sucks.
Dude, are they still gonna have superpowers?
I mean, they must. Like it would make the show completely fucking worthless if they didn't even have their superpowers, you know?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, why are you watching this? Just for the drama of the Powerpuff Girls?
Because like I'm looking at the costume. I'm like, why did you not change the costume?
Yeah, I was
at
just
all?
thinking that. Like, it's not like it's fused to their skin.
Right.
They'd have to
Well,
go out and buy other dresses and belts.
They were born wearing the costumes, according to the opening. So.
Yeah, but they wear pajamas. Like, it's very obviously
that's
not their fucking skin.
Yeah.
If it was their skin, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Like, just body paint them. I don't give a shit. But, like,
Yeah.
what the... just
Yeah.
update it.
Super weird.
It's gonna make... Like, it's gonna fucking make all of fighting so hard to watch because you can't move.
Oh,
If
God, I
they
didn't
even have any fighting.
I didn't even. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't even think about that. These actors don't look like fighting actors.
Well, I mean, yeah, but neither did the dudes from Supernatural, and they made it look decent.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like.
Yeah, but they were just there to be handsome dudes for chicks and questioning men to look at. This is like the whole concept of Powerpuff Girls, that they beat the fuck out of people. They were originally called the whoop ass girls, you know.
Like
At least
I'm
one
just,
of them needs to look like she'd whoop my fucking ass.
and like they also, I don't think they should all look exactly the same either.
Yeah, especially now that they're like adults. Like, wouldn't their like they already kind of look different? So wouldn't their the interests that are already different lead them like down different paths or whatever? But
Like I feel like what's her name? Buttercup should be like ripped as shit.
man, they're gonna make Buttercup just the most annoying feminist lesbian type. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be the worst. It's gonna be cringy as fuck. I hope something good. I hope like Mojo Jojo is hilarious.
I hope Mojo Jojo
he's
is
like
hilarious.
a gorilla now, like, or he's like a big fat gorilla or something, and he's just got the brain hanging out all the time. Something gross.
Okay, so I'm looking at some other clips, and it looks like they're changing it somewhat, but I can't tell.
I
wonder what Fuzzy Lumpkins is gonna look like, or the fucking Gangrene Gang.
I don't want to think about this anymore. We're moving on.
Oh well. Powerpuff Girls can't catch a break. Maybe it's just time for it to end.
It's been time for it to end.
What else? Nothing else. Nothing else happens.
Cause
Guess what didn't happen at Gamescom? That just happens.
I didn't watch it yet. So
yeah, I shouldn't have
don't
wasted
know.
my time watching it either, really, because fucking nothing happens.
I was working.
There's literally nothing. Like, I think they announced like Call of Duty, so maybe one of you cares. Maybe you care, Derek. There's like Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War.
Didn't I already play this when the first Black Ops came out?
Probably.
Like, that entire fucking game is Cold War. You go from Korea up through, like, Vietnam. Like, the end of Vietnam and the beginning of, like, all the proxy wars in Afghanistan. And then Black Ops 2, you play Afghanistan. It's like, what the fuck else is there to do besides pretend that Ronald Reagan is in the game?
Put Ronald Reagan in the game.
It's just, like, I don't understand. Like, they could have named it anything else. Fucking anything else. Like, don't just call it Cold War. You've just nailed the first two Black Ops games. Like, I don't care now. Like, I'm even okay with them calling, like...
because they're changing history in it. It's not even really the Cold War now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm okay with what they did with Modern Warfare, where it's like a reboot. Like, I don't really like it. But also, like, I understand you need to reboot it. In that case, call it, like, Black Ops 2020 or something. Like, I don't care. Or, I'll probably end up buying it when it goes on sale, because I just love Call of Duty. But, like, it annoys the shit out of me, because I fucking hate that they've essentially, like, boiled down Call of Duty into two franchises in either Modern Warfare or Black Ops, and at the end of the day, they ended up being the same fucking franchise, but just made by different
That's what
studios.
happens when you release your game, a new game every 6 months. You know? Eventually all the games are just going to start
Well,
to
no,
look
it's
the
just
fucking
like
same.
fucking Treyarch. Well, it's like it would have been fine if Treyarch had done like Black Ops and then Black Ops like Afghanistan and then like leading up to Modern Warfare. But they went like, okay, it's 1970 and now it's 2025. Like what?
Yeah. It's a little backwards.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's just stupid.
they're floundering to try to keep the Call of Duty series relevant, you know, as far as like the eye of gamers goes, but maybe they should take a break with these for a little while. Let them sit. Stop releasing the same game 10 or 15 times.
I mean,
speaking of repeating the same game 10 or 12 times, I have a bunch of people who I'm friends with that play the Madden games and the basketball 2K games. Oh boy.
Sports games are a scam. I believe that's the official stance of this podcast.
Oh yes, but guess what? The people who are buying into these scams are starting to realize they're scams.
Oh yeah.
it only took them 20 years.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
I have a bunch of friends I was talking to recently. They're like, "Oh yeah, I play 2K all the time." They didn't change shit. And I'm just sitting there like, "Yeah."
You should be
So,
like, hey, I hate to break it to you, but they haven't changed shit in about 15 years.
Like, they're like saying like, "Oh yeah, they added a couple polygons, but guess what? My hand still goes through the ball, even though it doesn't get clipped."
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of the things that, like, you can make the argument for first-person shooters that come out on a yearly basis is at least the maps change and the guns change usually.
Right, yeah.
Like, it'll end up kind of feeling the same. Like, you go through the same rigmarole. So it's like, I understand, like, Call of Duty's the same every year, but at least they change the maps, you know?
Right.
Like,
I mean,
you get new
the player's
scenery.
stat change.
Huh?
The player's stats change.
Yeah, fuck the player's stats.
But like so incrementally and small, and players stay around for fucking year after year after year. You know,
I mean, at that point, you might as well just do game as a service rather than a new whole game every year.
You'd think they would take advantage of this wonderful new system that companies have realized makes them billions of dollars and make it a games as a service and just keep the shit around for fucking 20, 30 years or however long this fucking
Like,
rigmarole lasts.
Just think about this. You make it a games as a service. Every 3 years, you come out with a new one.
Like,
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think back in the day you could argue like, okay, sports games update like every year kind of made sense. Like there's a big difference between like NBA 2003 and NBA 2004. Like they added a bunch of more like not just like new players, new stats and stuff, but they also added like different like modes and stuff.
yeah.
And so like I could see the
Like
argument.
as like patches have become more of a thing and the game is kind of just becoming the same thing over and over again. Now it's like, all right, you're just releasing the same game over and over again to get $60 out of the same people every year. Like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, at least
Less
give us a
people
full
showing up.
moss. That'll make the game more exciting.
Like,
Yeah.
all you gotta do is go like, hey, guess what? Here's the new patch. It's gonna be $10. Boom. All right, you didn't get a full game's worth, but guess what else you can do? You can sell people a bunch of cosmetology and whatnot.
Or like, here's the expansion that you could buy.
I was looking for the word cosmetics. I apologize.
I was about to say, what does beauty product have to do with anything?
I was just gonna totally gloss
Yep.
over it.
Yep, nope. I was going for cosmetics, and my brain was like, what starts with cos? Cosmetology. There we go. That's the word you're clearly looking for.
Anyway, yeah,
Okay.
fucking those things are a scam.
Yeah.
If I ever want to get like really, really hot and heated and like yell about something, that'll be it.
You know what? Look, it's not a scam if you buy them like every 5 years, and you're like, oh, this is my game I play.
That's true. If you don't, keep up with the times at all. But odds are, if you're playing an NBA game, you're into the NBA. You're not going to be playing some fucking 15-year-old version of the NBA game.
Yeah.
You don't want to play the current
Playing the
shit.
new one.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's fucked up. But
yeah.
whatever. It's a hell of their own making. They knew better.
Yes. Yeah, but yeah, for me, the only games I've really played this week have been Power Rangers, Risk of Rain, League.
Same old.
Same old.
Oh, excuse me.
League's been a lot of fun. I need to go and start playing ranked again.
No, you don't. Just enjoy not.
No, well, I mean, League for me is just that game I can go back and chill and play. Because I play one character and don't have to think about the game.
I guess. I don't know.
Hey Derek,
Yes.
tell me about the lore of Warcraft.
Where do you want to start?
Why is that guy in the new Warcraft Shadowlands trailer such a big deal? Why did he get to go to heaven? And then, I'm assuming Artorius,
Artist.
the Ice King guy.
Yeah, well, he's
Oh.
not actually.
Well, he was like frozen or whatever, wasn't he? That was his whole deal.
No, he got deaded.
So I know he's dead. So he gets sent to the Shadowlands essentially because he killed that guy who went to heaven, whose name I don't remember.
Wait, did he kill...
There was a new trailer for some Warcraft Shadowlands shit in Gamescom. I'm sure you didn't watch it.
No, I didn't. I was busy
but basically,
making
so what is the Shadowlands? Is that just hell, basically?
money. I don't know because it's a new realm.
Okay, because the Artor guy gets fucking dropped into hell, and and this is what gets me about Warcraft every time. I stay out of it, and then I see a cool lore thing, and I'm like, shit, do I want to get back into Warcraft for a little while just to fucking look at this shit? But then I restrain myself and remember that that's a hole I don't want to get into.
Smart.
Damn.
So Shadowlands it's just some new shit?
So he just straight up killed Uther. Arthas, please. Yeah, it's a new like realm essentially, and they're like completely changing the the like leveling system in the game. Like basically, you know how like WoW vanilla was 1 to 60?
Yeah.
So they're redoing it to basically be like that, I think. Where they're crunching down like all of the game's expansions to be 1 to 60. And then the new shit is I think going to 70. So but damn, motherfucker just straight up murdered Uther.
Dropped him into the Shadowlands.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
Which
Honestly,
I'm
like,
assuming the whole deal is now those two characters are back and you can fight them again or team up with them again or whatever. And it's basically a big member berries thing of remember these two characters that everybody loved or whatever. Well, we've been fucking up. Blizzard's been fucking up for a while, so here's something to make you remember the good times.
Yeah, well, it's like it's weird because the fucking Lich King right now is Bolvar. Because he essentially like there always has to be a Lich King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's fucking like there's a sun, there's a Lich King. So when they defeated Arthas at the end of Wrath of the Lich King, they killed him, but like someone had to take the throne, so Bolvar is the new dude. But I guess they like resurrected. I don't fucking know, dude. I haven't played Warcraft in like a year because I've been playing Final
You
Fantasy.
sprung this on him.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you're our Warcraft expert, our resident Warcraft expert. So.
quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
Like yeah, I don't know. It's fucking I don't know, man.
Seeing that like motion comic or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
makes me think Blizzard should just make like a fucking Warcraft show or something, like an animated show.
They absolutely should.
It feels like, because it really feels like they're putting all this work into like building, I don't know, all this shit, all these assets, and all like this whole story, and it's like it kind of goes lost on a lot of people. So I imagine they don't want to just lose it in the shuffle, you know. They don't want to lose it in underneath the like. I know the gameplay is the important thing, but they seem to put so much work into the lore. It's like, okay, do you want to do something with this that isn't garbage?
Question of the year. I don't like. It's weird because like, it's so annoying because it's like, do you give a shit about the lore? Because there's a lot of people in World of Warcraft like who play World of Warcraft that don't give a flying fuck about the lore.
That's what I mean. Like, it'll just be lost on like a lot of people who just aren't paying attention to it. You know?
Yeah, and it's like the people who are like playing World of Warcraft for the lore are just getting pissed at what they do with World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know, man. I'm like losing faith in like the entire video games industry in general. I just don't want to deal with anything right now.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
Should I give a shit? Probably not. Like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, it seems like the video games industry, not really all of a sudden, but they just kind of decided to just be the most complete scum fuck douchebags you could possibly ever be. These companies, like, who just fuck over their employees and do all kinds of other horrible shit and basically scam their players.
Yeah, it's like, I knew shit was happening, and I was like, I think okay with it is like, I mean, that's the end all be all, but like, I was more ignorant of it, and now it's just like, fuck, I don't want anything to do with any of you. Like,
yeah. Because it's not really something you can do anything about other than not participating in this thing that you love.
yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like, that's getting easier and easier for me. I just have stopped playing video games.
Yeah.
Like, I'll talk about this mostly in my week, but that's all I'll say for now. But yeah, I don't know. I just ugh.
I love video games. I'm not stopping that shit.
I might stop playing as many video games, or I might just go back and play all the ones I missed and never play a new one. Depends.
It all depends. Right now, I've been playing fighting games, and fighting games need all the love they possibly can get.
It feels like fighting games don't really want that love. It seems like
They don't. It
seems
really
like
feels
every
like
time fighting games gets the spotlight, fighting games decides to fuck up.
Yep.
And by fighting games, I mean the fighting game community.
Well, that's people. People always are gonna fuck up.
I mean,
That's what a community
they're fucking
is
up the
caused.
fighting games. like at the end of the day, this shit isn't happening because the games are bad. It's happening because the community can't fucking control itself.
Yep. Yep. There's not much to say other than it's pretty much what's going on.
Because it's like, even when we get good shit, even when we finally get what we want, we get an Evo that's all about rollback games, and we finally get the chance to show how great that would be. Nah. They're all a bunch of fucking sickos.
It's almost like people say power corrupts.
Oh my god, it's almost like I tell people that all the fucking time and they don't fucking listen.
It's almost like that. It's almost like that.
Almost.
Except these people don't really have any real power. They're just sickos.
They think they do.
They think
and
they have
that's
power.
that's the main thing.
Has anyone heard from Sky Williams?
I haven't. I haven't
I mean,
looked
he's
up
been
anymore.
streaming, but I haven't heard.
Has he
Like,
really?
recently?
Yeah, I think last couple.
You mean
of
the
days.
Jeffrey Epstein of the fucking FGC has been streaming?
Okay, he's not.
So.
I don't think it was that bad, was it?
It was pretty bad.
I mean, he had a house where he knew that shit was going on. Where he allowed it to happen.
Right. I just remembered all the money shit that happened. I forgot
yeah.
about all the other stuff.
Yeah, he's been streaming.
You know when it's when it's so bad that you forget about the other bad shit. All right, let's just get off fighting games. I've been watching anime.
I haven't. I haven't caught up with anything. I don't think.
So I got caught up on God of High School, got caught up on Fire Force, got caught up.
Oh, I've
on,
been watching a ton of South Park, but you don't care about that.
Yeah, nope.
How's
I'm okay.
how good are you? How's Fire Force doing?
Fire Force is doing all right.
Yeah.
It's making you ask a lot of questions, and they're good questions to be asking right
You're
now.
gonna be asking a fuck ton of questions later, like what the fuck and what and what.
Okay. The other thing is that surprisingly, Demon of Misfit Academy is still that thoroughly enjoyable junk food
it
that you go and
seems to
watch.
be getting some kind of hype from the anime community because people are like, wait a minute, this show's awesome.
It's not. It's
Okay.
not. But it's that junk food that is reliable every time you go to eat it, and it
I
tastes
saw
good.
a certain moron who doesn't know how series should be watched or read. That moron, we're not going to say his name, said that it was basically the new One Punch Man.
Yeah, I saw that title too, and I'm like, yep, nope, not watching this video. Because usually I watch these videos and just enjoy them. But I saw that title, I'm like, that's a stupid analogy or analysis to make.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Because-
still never going to watch this show, but
You're
I like
you're
watching
probably
it
never
from
gonna
the,
watch.
from the bleachers and going,
Yeah.
over here?
So, like, okay, the main character, yes, is very powerful and is more powerful than anyone else, and makes no sense why he's more powerful than anyone else. It really doesn't make any sense, but he is more powerful than everyone else, right?
He's the Demon King or whatever. That's all I need to know.
Yeah. But unlike One Punch Man, it's not about like the hero, quote unquote, like story. It's not like,
I
oh,
imagine this is
here's.
just about him being like a huge badass all the time, isn't it?
It's literally him just stroking his dick almost all the time.
Okay.
The
No,
the
like-
cool thing is that every time you think it's going to be something, it's like, oh, right, by the way, it's not this genre. Oh, thank God it's not this genre. But also, it's not that genre either. Thank God it's not that genre either.
I haven't watched an anime, but we'll get to it later after
All
next
right.
week or whatever. But so it's what is it? It's not like action or comedy or drama or
It is a shonen. It is 100% a shonen.
okay.
But like, it's not a harem. It's not like a damsel in distress. Most of the characters are all like
competent.
competent.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what makes me like the most interested. Like,
'Cause-
there is
'cause
the one badass.
The way you're describing it, like the fact, even though it doesn't have like you even said it doesn't have the harem or the damsel in distress shit, but the fact that it doesn't really feel like it's doing anything but stroking a guy's dick was making me think of Sword Art Online, because that really is just all about
Yes.
one character's dick.
Yes, it feels a lot like that, where it's well done, but it's definitely just one character's show.
Okay, and the thing about Sword Art is like the reason the main character is so big dick and everything is because everybody else is pretty incompetent for the most part, and then he also has like extra knowledge he shouldn't have usually.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he was given special treatment, and
You know, like literally coming back from
also
death
it was a
and
harem,
crazy
so
shit.
that
Yeah, also there was a
was-
harem.
I mean, if you have a
But-
harem, you get granted special powers. I mean, that's just how it is.
Like
that's just
being
logic,
able
yeah.
to be cut the fuck up and then just instantly heal that damage.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is in real life too. I can confirm I was the sultan of a huge Arab industry.
I mean, obviously, look, if you get that much punani, you just get powers. Clearly,
Thrown at you. Punani is its own devil fruit.
it's that is the title of this episode. Please and thank you. Punani is its own devil's fruit.
Can I leave? I think I need to leave.
All right, Derek, what's your week looking like? Because pretty much, other than those animes that I watched, like it just a lot of questions have been forced me to ask. Derek, what's your week like? Because my brain just shut off.
I must have been working a lot actually, because I had a lot of homework that I had to get done, and a lot of what the fuck? There's a cat in here. Anyway,
You own 2 of those, don't you?
yeah, I know. It's just one of them popped out of fucking nowhere. Mostly just working and like doing homework, but like I basically fucking just stopped gaming the last like 3 or 4 weeks, which would be total sacrilege to me, like even like a year and a half ago. But like now I just don't care as much. Played some Dragon Ball. That was interesting. I know you saw my tweet, Cause.
I saw it.
I didn't.
Basically, our queuers are just like
Rage quitters.
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know how they can lose to me and like be salty. Like
That's probably why they're salty.
Yeah, because they're losing.
no,
They're probably like, I shouldn't be losing.
oh my god, the person that made me make that tweet, like I came back from like a 1-touch game against 3 characters, and like I finished, and it was like last tick was gonna kill him, and then he DC'd, and of course it's fucking Vegito Blue, and I was just like, Like, I'd basically been losing all the sets the entire night because fucking Dragon Ball's matchmaking is just absolutely butt fucked right now.
Yeah,
And
I've heard that from a lot of people.
Yeah, well, it's like I'm like around. I think I'm 500,000 on PC.
Yeah,
Yeah, like 550-ish, I think, around there. And I just keep getting matched with like 800,000, 900,000, like over 1 million, and it's just like. And the worst part is that they're all like they obviously like have super optimized combos, but they all just like super dash and do like stupid shit, and I'm just it's annoying to play against. It's not even like this is hard, it's just annoying as shit.
yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to play a little bit, and then like that just made me want to fucking chuck my stupid fucking fight stick through the door. Ugh, I hate that shit. I don't know, man. Like
it's.
And I've just been writing a lot more
Check
music.
the patch notes I just put in the docket.
Oh, I've seen this. Yeah, it's the best. This was on. Okay, actually, that last one though, like, it's how it feels, man. Like,
Yeah, the way
people
quit,
rage
yeah.
quit. Like, it brings their mother back to life. Like, I don't know why, but like, people love it. They're just like, oh yeah, like give me that sweet rage quit when I beat you 1-0, and I'm like, you realize you beat me because you
People
literally
rage quit so they don't lose their points.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Like, if I can take those L's, motherfucker, you should take those L's because I'm the saltiest bitch I know. Like,
People don't want to lose their internet points.
yeah, fuck your internet points. I'll punch you in the face. Like, it's so stupid. It just annoys the shit out of me because like, I learned to do it. They should know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I will be the first to admit that like, I definitely have those urges to just like hit Alt F4, but I don't because they fucking earned the win.
Yeah, like for me, whenever I rage quit, I'm like, take your fucking points, take your fucking points, take your fucking points. Okay, I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like there's
Let
some
them
people.
take it and then quit the match.
Yeah, there's some people that I won't rematch because like, it just I'm salty and I know like it's just not
Yeah.
gonna end well. But like there were a lot of people last night who just took my points, but like they were just better, and you can't be mad at that.
No, I mean you can be salty about it, but you can't really be mad.
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
like fuck, you're good. Damn it, like. I'm upset, but like not mad. But it's just that shit pisses me off. And I know like sometimes it feels good, like in Power Rangers when I feel like, oh yeah, fuck you, I'm doing good, and then they leave. That's
Yeah.
a great feeling.
it is a
Yeah.
good feeling.
But when it's like,
That's
I
always
made
fun.
that miracle comeback, and then they leave, it's like, fuck you, asshole.
Like you were willing to stick around when I was beating your ass, but now that, or when you were beating my ass, but now it's on the other table.
Well, it's like, yeah, like when I fucking reverse OCV you, it's like, you need to sit the fuck down and think about your life, and if you come up to me, I will punch you with my fight stick. Like, you've earned that.
I'll punch you through my fight stick. Here, can you hold this for a second?
They call this the shadowless fist because you don't see it coming.
Yeah, it's like you've earned that. Like, you can keep your points. I'll take your eyeball. Anyway, I don't know, man, but I've mostly just been writing a lot of music, and like this might be a little heavy for this, but like I've just been feeling like this such existential dread of just like I don't want to exist anymore, that like I haven't wanted to do anything for like the past like week.
That was me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And so it feels, I don't know, like I just haven't been able to like sit down and play video games. I tried playing what the fuck was I playing the other day? I picked up Code Vein again.
Okay.
But
I saw you were playing that.
yeah, I was mostly like trying to get the good ending, and then I immediately lost all my souls, and I was like, fuck.
You know what it sounds like? You need a healthy dose of D&D.
I need a healthy dose of fucking recording an EP and getting signed, so that way I don't have to worry about money anymore.
That'd also be really nice.
Yeah, well, it's tough because all the recording studios around here are like either booked to shit or closed.
Or closed.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
now everybody's trying to write fucking music. Right.
Yeah, well, it's like, and it's true, like we're not anything like special right now, right? Like we haven't gotten signed, we haven't even played we played one show, and so it's like we don't have a lot of like practice or anything, but like I just want to go out and do it because that's what I really, really want to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm even considering
Okay.
swapping my YouTube channel just to like music, essentially.
I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, like
That would be rad, actually.
I still want to do video games, but like right now, like it feels like I'm forcing myself to play video games, and I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you still want to do video game stuff, you could always practice doing covers.
Yeah, no, I just mean like actual video games.
I gotcha.
Yeah, but like I don't know, like it sucks.
Yeah.
Cameron, do you remember Brady at all?
Brady. Name
That
sounds familiar.
short
but
Asian kid from high school?
From high school?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
He would be around the basketball team all the time.
Yeah.
So he's part of a band now.
Oh, okay.
And they just released their, I want to say it's their first EP on Spotify or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a bunch of, it's a couple guys that you and I would probably know. But they are actually pretty good.
Oh, that's
kinda
always
nuts.
cool. That's always cool.
It's kind of nuts. It's like, because I would go to like see him play in high school, just kind of, hanging out or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he would do like a gig at like, what was that fucking place called? It was like some bar. It's like some fish grill bar.
Oh,
Can't remember what it's
Anglers.
called. I think so, yeah. And I went and saw that, and I was like, this is actually really good. He's like I want to say he does like punk music sort of,
Oh yeah, that's basically what I meant.
or
Well,
like or
yeah.
but
Nice.
hey man, if I'm
That's
just
cool.
saying, if Brady can do it, you definitely can do it.
Yeah, like the issue is we write songs at such a frantic pace. Like we got together as a band in April or March. We basically have like a full album's worth of material. And
That's pretty good.
we didn't have any when we got together.
Yeah.
So it's like, and like we have stuff to record at home, but it just doesn't sound great. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide whether or not that should stop us. Like we might just, it might be worth it to just like record like a demo EP essentially, like where we just do all the shit at home and put it on Spotify and stuff and see what goes on, and we can use that to like send to labels and shit. Like I don't know how it works, but I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure the advice that artists get all the time applies here too, but it's like, just no matter how shitty it is, just put it out.
Yeah.
Just put it out. You'll get better over time.
Yeah. Well, plus if we label it demos, like people are a lot nicer.
Right? Yeah. Label it the 0.015 version.
Yeah. Well, it's like we have a lot of songs that are like, they're good. I think they're good, and they're like catchy, but like the mics that we have and stuff like aren't the best, so it doesn't sound like pristine.
Yeah.
But just label that shit a demo, and no one knows.
No one will know the difference.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Watch Decadence. It's like Attack on Titan, but a video game world, and it's fucking great.
Nice.
All right, I will take a look at that.
And you know what? They set up the world like as if there's a mystery in like the first episode, and then the second episode they're like, "Psych, here's how it works."
Gotcha, bitch.
They literally tell you everything about the world. They tell you that it's like post-apocalyptic. They tell you like who like this certain group of people are, and they basically tell you there's like another ship floating over the Earth, which is essentially just like where all the real people live.
Okay.
Super nuts, super crazy. And when I was watching it, the show doesn't get intro until the second episode. So I'm watching the second episode. I'm like, yo, they're spoiling a whole shit ton of shit right now. Like look
Gotta
like you
love
like
intros.
the imagery and just the way the animation would go. It was like, okay, this character is clearly actually this character, and these people are actually clearly these people, and this is the deal. But then in that episode, they just tell you the deal from like second one. They just open the episode up with, and here's how it works. Here's what this world is like. So, it's really good. It's super fun. It kind of has like a classic feel of just anime kid wants to be the best anime kid they could be, you know, and they get the grizzly old teacher to teach them stuff. It's kind of a feel good type of thing.
Hell yeah.
Not super deep or anything, but art style is great, animation's great, story's fun for right now.
Give it time.
Yeah, give it time. It'll probably suck eventually. It'll probably end in like 12 episodes and be super rushed and be annoying.
Of course.
Because that seems to be how everything is ending for me lately. Everything I like, everything I'm like, hey, this is actually really good. Oh. Like, Godfall, that boring ass game that me and Cameron shit on every time it shows up. They were at Gamescom, and they showed not even 10 seconds of gameplay footage of this new moth armor they have, this moth titty armor that they have.
And did it look any good at all?
It looked like shit, and it lasted for less than 10 seconds.
Oh, fun.
So,
Because
I literally tweeted, the moth armor looks kind of cool. Oh, it's over. Never mind. This game's gonna be shit.
I was gonna say, like, every time I see that game, I'm like, this could be cool, and then it's just like, but everything around it is so dumb.
Yeah. I'm like, they had nothing to show for Gamescom clearly, because I'm telling you, like, the gameplay starts, and you can like count down on your fingers, like how quick it goes away. Like, it cuts away. It's ridiculous. I bet this game's gonna be a fucking train wreck when it comes out. I bet it's just gonna be an absolute disaster.
Isn't it like a Diablo but with God armor or whatever?
A Diablo? No, it's like a Dark Souls wannabe kind of thing.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, but I thought it was like a grind for loot.
Oh, like a looter, like a loot shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what Diablo is. It's you kind of.
Yeah, I think that actually is what it is, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's.
I don't know the genre would be called.
I can't really tell what it's going for, honestly, because there's like no.
Gameplay.
There's gameplay, but it's like not great looking. It's just kind of boring and basic, and it's not really telling you much of what the general loop is.
Yeah.
So it's like, what kind of game is this?
To be
Haven't told us
determined.
anything. Yeah, to be determined. We don't even know yet. We just made the combat. We don't know what everything else is gonna be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what it is, especially after that fucking stupid bullshit they pulled at Gamescom. Oh well.
Well, we got anything else?
Nah, fam.
Nah, everybody's dying.
Yeah. Kind of sucks.
Can't wait for my turn.
Maybe you won't have to die.
Maybe.
Maybe
Damn.
we'll just get sucked into a black hole and get turned into non-existence.
I hope not. It's way cheaper to be dead.
I don't know, man.
All right. Well, before we get any darker, where can we find you guys?
You can find me at Twitter at Mr. Urban Buddha, Twitch at Super Urban Buddha, and YouTube at Mr. Urban Buddha.
Where can we find you, Derek?
You can find me jacking off on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at Gamer2nd.
And you can find me at I Press the Buttons on YouTube, IPT Buttons on Twitter, and I Press the Buttons on Twitch. And as always, laugh at yourself. And we'll catch you guys next time.